Welcome to Mr. Holloway's Foundational Python Skills course. About this course, we're going to cover the fundamentals of Python. It's no nonsense, no extra convoluted code examples. We're going to stick just to the basics. Now, why do you want to learn Python? Well, Python is easier to learn. I won't say it's easy, but it's easier to learn. It's a great first language. So if you're coming from another language, Python is going to be really easy for you to learn. If it's your first language, you're in the right place. Python also has a large community, and that's important because a lot of times you may need extra support. You may get stuck on a problem, and there's a lot of resources out there for you, especially with Python. And finally, it's an in-demand language. So whether you're here to land a job or you're just a hobbyist, there's lots of resources, there's lots of opportunities out there to use Python. Now, what do you need for this course? We're going to use Replit, and it's an online code editor. But if you're just here to kind of follow along, that's fine. But I would highly suggest that you do code alongs, which simply meaning just code as I code. Now, in this video, we're going to set up our coding environment. We're going to do a hello world program and the print function, and then we're going to talk about single and multi-line comments. And if none of that stuff makes any sense to you, well, after this video, you'll be a pro at it. Now, just wanted to remind you, if you like the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. And class is now in session. All right, we're going to get started, but first we got to set up the code environment, and we're going to use it with Replit. I know some of you may be using other coding environments, but I like Replit because it's very simple, and it's online, and it's accessible anywhere. So you don't have to download a coding editor. And for the purposes of this course, this is probably the best solution that I found. So if you already have an account, go ahead and log in. If not, you're going to go ahead and sign up. And I will meet you on the other side. All right, now you should be logged in. Your REPL is going to look a lot different than mine. I'm going to go to my REPLs over here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to set up, but just a little bit about Replit. I have a number of different folders, and I have files inside of the folders, which we call REPLs. Okay. So what I want you to do right now is you're going to create a REPL, and you're going to go to Python, and you're going to select Python. Now, the cool thing about this is that you can choose a number of different alternatives. Let me go back. So there's Java, there's HTML, Node, C++, Bash. I mean, there's tons of languages in here. So if this is something that you want to use for other projects or just practicing, this is a great tool. All right, but we're going to select Python, and then we're going to give our project a name, and you can name it whatever you want, and then and this is the name that I've selected to give it, but once you set up everything, you're going to just click create REPL. All right, and just a note here, I will not set up for the rest of the courses. I'm not going to set up REPLs. You can organize your REPLs however you want if you're going to follow along, but we're going to just jump right into the coding from this point on. All right, but let's just do a quick review of just REPL in general and how everything is going to work. This side you really don't need to worry about, but also the name of the file is called main.py, and when you see .py, that is the extension for a Python file. All right, but this side we're really not going to use. The tools, again, this is not a course on Replit, so we don't necessarily need to know the tools. And then also we can just move, actually just like to move this over so we'll have more room. We're going to code on this side here, and we're going to see the result right here in the console. We really won't have much to do with the shell at this point, so I'm going to just go ahead and get rid of that. So we're going to be dealing with these two things, and this simply is where we're going to see the results. All right, so let's create our first Python program, and we're going to do that by using the print function. Okay, and I'm going to type in print, and also notice that as I type, I get code hinting. All right, we'll talk about that later, but I'm going to say print, and I'm going to say hello world. Okay. Now that is my first line of code, and I'm simply going to click run. And if you notice on this side here, you'll see the result of this. Now we're going to get more into what all this stuff means, but this is the code and this is the result. All right, now I just wanted to point out something. You can't see it at the bottom left-hand corner. You should see something that says AI. If you click on it, it's going to pop up. You can see a little bit here, but it's out of the screen mostly. But it says AI autocomplete, and it's enabled. I'm going to disable it for this course. At this point, I think it's wise to turn it off for a beginner because it's going to cause you more problems than you really need at this point. So we're really going to just turn it off right now. AI is a great it's amazing, but we're not going to use it now. We need to learn the language first before we start using those features. All right. Now let's continue to talk about the print function. All right. So the print function, you can actually put things inside of the function itself. So I can actually put my name. I could say Mr. Hollaway. Okay. And these are things that we call strings. So this is actually called a string, and we're going to talk more about that in a second. And so you can create anything that you want to go inside of here. You can also add things in here through expressions. So I could say 1 plus 3. Okay, so I could say print 1 plus 3. And notice now I have my 3 lines of code. I have the results. And from this point on, when I refer to some of the code, I'm going to refer to it by line. So I would say line 3 or line 2, and that's going to refer to this particular one if I said line 3. The other thing is we would say, hey, this program has 3 lines of code. All right. So you're going to learn a lot about the print function and some of its capabilities. But the last thing I want to talk about before we move on to the next topic are comments. And we're going to talk about a comment, a single line comment, and a multi-line comment. Okay. So you can use comments for several different things. The first one is you can just type a comment. Say, hey, this is my first Python program. All right. Now let's see what happens when we use this hashtag. So this hashtag, and then we type just a comment there. All right. So we're going to run it and watch what happens here. Nothing. You don't see the result of this, and the reason why is because the Python interpreter knows that this should be ignored. So this is really for just you, the programmer, or someone that is going to be looking at your program. All right, now before we move further, I just wanted to talk about the console here. If you notice, you see different renditions of your output, and you see hello world, hello world, Mr. Hollaway, hello world, Mr. Hollaway, and 4. Okay, this is basically the console history. And so if it looks confusing sometimes, I know some people may be looking for these results and they're looking up here. All right, but the latest console result is going to be here. And generally I just clear the history just so that we can have the latest results here. And there we go. All right, now the other reason you can use comments is to comment code out. So if I wanted to, generally it's a good idea not to erase code until you're actually finished and you're pretty confident the program's ready to go. Just to have the code there, as a reference of where you came from. All right, now I'm going to comment this line 2 out, and now I'm going to run it again, and you're going to notice now only lines 3 and 4 print. Okay, so that's another reason you can do. Now let's say that I wanted to comment all of these lines of code out. All right, now I did this, and I'm just doing a control 3, a shift 3, and I just comment everything out. All right, you can do that, but a better way to do that, and let me just illustrate this point, is that let's say I'm going to take this and copy this. I'm going to paste all of this, just do this, and again, I'm using my keyboard shortcuts, and if you haven't taken my keyboard shortcuts course, you can look at it on the channel, and I just printed everything. Now, there may be times when you need to comment a bunch of code out. And it would be pretty tedious to just have to go and just, comment code out like that, line by line. All right, you don't want to do that. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to use a multi-line comment, and the way you do it, you simply just do 3 quotations, and you're going to do one at the top, and we're going to do one at the bottom. So I'm going to take that, cut that. I'm just going to move this down here, and now all of this code is commented out. All right, and that's a much more efficient way of commenting code out than having to do each one of these lines out. Comment each one of these lines with a hashtag. All right, so we covered our first Hello World program. We covered the print function. We covered the single and multi-line comments in this video, and I will see you in the next video where we're going to talk about variables.